Dear listener, ClockTower is intended for mature audiences and might be inappropriate or possibly triggering to some. Many of the themes and events in ClockTower are inspired by weird fiction as well as similar concepts, which means the show can get dark.
If that isn't something you enjoy, please listen at your own discretion. We here at the ClockTower care about you, so please put your mental health first. Our show will be here when you're ready.
Welcome to another episode of ClockTower, a D&D 5e experience. For those of you familiar with 5th edition, keep in mind that all of our players are playing a custom class called the ClockTower Agent. We also play with a lot of house rules in our games that we as a group collectively enjoy. We explain these rules when they come up, so if you're just joining us, you may need to listen to previous episodes just to clear up any confusion. I want to personally say that we have a disclaimer at the beginning of each episode, but to reiterate, this episode is one of our darkest. It deals with death and some pretty terrible concepts. So, again, listen at your own discretion. If you need to skip this one and catch up on the recap, do so. And if you're still here, I hope you enjoy this episode. Welcome to the ClockTower. The four of you stand in a dimly lit room. Its tall ceilings seem to make all of your words echo slightly as you stare at the strange door engraved with shifting runes that you know to somehow be the same as the ones you see on your weapons and in the ClockTower. Stranger yet, the door doesn't have any handles. There's only a small slot, about 1.5 inches big by a couple centimeters wide.
Is that a coin slot?
Well, I don't know that Reagan has ever seen a coin slot, but it does look like it could fit a coin.
Let me ask you this. In this wizard city, did they have anything like a bubblegum machine that we would have seen in the last 2 years?
Like a gachapon machine?
Yeah, like a bubblegum machine, gachapon, whatever.
You haven't seen one, no, not in your travels.
Like in our 2 years of knowledge here in this place, we know what a coin slot would be.
There's nothing, get a little sticky hand and like a little capsule.
Yeah. But just cast
I guess roll a history check with advantage.
Yeah.
Probably in the 50s town.
That's a 6. No, that's an 8.
Reagan?
Unnatural 20.
16.
11.
Rock and Jaeger have no idea. I've never seen anything like that in their memory. As the two of you try to remember anything you can with the information you've gotten from the ClockTower about the place that you are now in, there aren't any gachapon machines. However, the Mage Council in this place uses a special currency that they transfer among themselves that has such weight that a normal person can elevate their status by getting, they could buy their way out of poverty with a single coin from the Mage Council. Basically, the coins represent a favor to any given member of the Mage Council, and they circulate rarely, but often. Between all the people, it's very rare that you'll get one, but they're constantly out there.
Do we want to put one of our coins in? See if that does something? Sam walks over and takes out a ClockTower coin.
Okay.
I don't see why not.
I mean, yeah, sure. I was just gonna knock.
I mean, that actually makes a lot of sense. Question. That window with the light on at the top of the Mage's Council Tower, castle, whatever.
Right.
Was it on a certain wing?
Yeah, and as you're going through it in your head, this door probably leads to that wing.
Cool. Yep. All right. Nice. That's all I wanted to know. Yeah, go for it. Why not?
All right. Sam places the coin into the coin slot.
The coin goes in, and then the runes on the door glow and fade away, and the door opens on its own. And in front of you is a small room. It's made of just white stone with runes lining the right and the left-hand walls in organized rows. Anybody want to roll to see if they can understand what those runes are? Because they're not ClockTower runes, they're arcane.
I will. Sure. Yeah, so that's an Arcana roll.
Oh, nat 20.
Wow, what? Okay.
That's a 15 for me.
Jeebus, Reagan.
Wait, Can I roll a disadvantage?
Yeah.
Cool.
You can't read!
Holy shit, he's fucking smart at runes. 20.
Okay.
I rolled a 19 and an 18.
14.
The dice gods really want us to know.
Apparently, in the 2 years that you guys have been here, with your knowledge from the clock tower, these runes are common around the city, so much so that they're found in almost every household because they're runes of prestidigitation. They will clean anything that passes by them automatically, so people often have them in their restrooms, and they use runes of prestidigitation instead of baths or showers. Magic clean. This appears to be some sort of magic clean room, and there is what you can assume is a door on the other side.
Does that
directly
mean
across
these
from you.
wizards have never been wet?
Huh?
Does that mean these wizards have never been wet?
You don't know.
Well, I've been here for 2 years.
Yeah, but you haven't been in the Mages Council for 2 years.
That's fair.
But yeah, a lot of people have these runes instead of showers or baths in their homes, so they don't waste water.
So if we get close to one of these, are we just going to be clean?
Yes. Extremely.
Rock kind of looks themselves up and down and just waddles towards the rune.
As you walk into the room, is anybody else walking into the room?
I'm gonna see what happens to Rockfest.
Cool, the doors slam in front of all of you, with Rock being the only person in the room, and the runes all go off at the same time.
Rock just slowly starts to grip their pocket watch
And as the runes completely surge around you, your hair is blown all over the place, and it feels like there's a rush of wind and air, and then it's over. Suddenly, your hair is very poofy, but it's very shiny. And the doors in front of you open, and you see a very well-lit white corridor that looks like it's got a much taller ceiling than this room. And to the left and to the right of this room, from what you can see without moving from your position, there are what look like large... It almost invokes the hourglass in your mind. But they're not hourglasses. They're like glass cylinders that have a stone pedestal on top and a stone pedestal below, and like several floating runes in rings going around the glass jars. And it looks like there's stuff in the glass jars that are like floor to ceiling, and they're very wide. Like you could fit like 2 people in these glass jars, each of them, and they're lining the walls on the left and the right. And you're not sure what's in there, but they don't look like people, but it looks like something is in each one, and they all look different. And the doors have the runes appear on them again for all of you.
Well, I'm not wasting another coin.
I put a coin in the slot.
Reagan dejectedly pulls out a coin, puts it in the slot as the runes stop glowing, and they open behind, and you guys see Rock's hair is so poofy.
As you see Rock's kind of standing with their arms outstretched, almost like they're still in shock of what just happened. Just like I've never felt this clean.
Sam scuttles in.
Jaeger also walks in.
I also walk in.
All right, the doors slam behind you.
No, not again, not again!
And the doors in front of you close as well. Well, actually, I guess the doors in front of you would close before the ones behind you open because it's an airlock. And the air rushes around all of you guys. Your hats are blown off, actually.
I will say Rock is now screaming.
Except for Jaeger, who doesn't have a hat or a jacket anymore.
I scramble for my hat.
I'd like to keep my robe down. I'm only with my hands.
And then in a moment, you guys all look like blow-dried, long-haired dogs. Just like your hair's very poofy. You're very much, your clothes are all staticky, and you're just like, oh, okay. As the doors in front of you open to, again, this strange, ultra-clean white hallway in front of you. You guys go in the room?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
But not before licking my hand and
I was
smoothing
thinking
my
the
hair
exact
down.
Same thing. Yeah.
You put your hat back on?
Yeah.
Also, did the duffel bag get blown in the air? Or?
No. I mean, it has a flap, but you guys close.
I like to imagine Jaeger does the same, licks his hand, puts his sort of throws his hair back and just sort of has it in a slick back style now.
All right.
Rock would just shake their head.
Sam just really tightly puts their hat on.
Sam doesn't look very different.
Well, they look clean.
They look clean. Your hair looks a little shinier, but your hair's always real fluffy. And And you always look kind of disheveled, so yeah.
I just look staticky.
Yeah, a little bit more staticky.
I'd like to shock, right?
And
That's really funny because that's exactly what I was gonna do
the
to
two of you
you.
shock each other. Both of you take a point of damage.
Oh shit!
Aw.
That's a really good shock.
It hurt. Have you ever been shocked? It's ow. Ow! I don't want to do that again.
Point of damage? Ow!
It's a point of damage. You're fine.
No, I'm not.
Rock looks back at both of you guys and looks at their hands and thinks to themselves, because they went through twice, do they have extra power?
You don't know.
I look Rock in the eye.
I touch Jaeger.
This is like this gun cock.
Jaeger cocks his gun.
I mean, roll to hit AC, I guess.
No.
How did I get here?
You gave us shocky abilities, and now you don't.
What would be my plus to this? It's an unarmed strike, so it's just a flat roll?
Yeah, plus
Alright,
your
cool.
strength.
Sure. Can I put athletics in that, or just strength?
Nope.
Proficiency.
Proficiency? Dope.
like, nope.
That hits.
Damn it! It's one above.
You take 2 points of damage.
Fuck!
Rock looks at their hands and looks at the sky, realizing what they've
Alright,
become.
guys.
Reagan, as you say all right, and you look over to your left, in one of the big glass pods, there is a horrible alligator thing that looks like small pieces of goop are floating in it, and it has multiple rows of arms and segments sort of floating in this some sort of containment liquid. And then one of its many eyes swims around and sees to look at you, and it goes thunk up against the glass, and looks like its two jaws of its heads are trying to bite on the glass, but it can't gain any purchase, and it's just kind of squirming angrily around in there. And every time it hits the glass, those small floating rocks that have runes engraved on them glow slightly as if they're containing the energy, and then it goes back down. Roll perception check, everybody.
That'll be a 16 for me.
11.
14.
8.
Anybody above 15 is starting to notice all the other creatures in the pods. They are all extremely different, but all horrifying in their own way. From a creature that looks like small bits of flesh are constantly sort of creating bone-like structures that are trying to attack the glass before the runes glow and that new structure it's created is disintegrated away, to a small white fish with no eyes that just has a mouth that looks like it goes on for infinity into itself with rows and rows and rows of sharp teeth. It's tons of different things, and a lot of them look really uncomfortable to look at, and all of you are able to do so, but you feel like a normal person might have nightmares or memories of these things for a very long time. And lastly, anybody who got above a 10 in their perception check sees that the last pod on the end is broken.
Anything for someone who got above a 5.
Hey, didn't we fight a thing like that a long time ago? As you point to the alligator. That's basically what you see.
Hey, didn't we fight something like that a while ago?
Yeah.
There are so many of them.
My problem is that Broken went over there.
Yeah, that doesn't
Yeah.
look good.
I was too busy focused on the alligator.
Honestly, I feel like that's probably the cause of our little trouble outside, most likely.
You think the Mage Council was experimenting and it went too far?
No, they just had shitty lockdown procedure.
Well, proceed with caution, I'd say. Let's keep moving. Don't try to stand next or look at everything too much.
Keep an eye out in case some things are still in here. If one broke out, more can.
Or it was broken out by someone.
Right. I don't think this was in lack of containment. I think this was someone wanted something to get out.
Well, eyes on a swivel, as they say.
Do all of you continue down this strange long hallway? Or do you do anything else in this room? There are doors at the end of this hall.
Rock has no reason to stay and look.
Sam would like to commit some of those runes around the tubes to memory and then continue with the group.
Okay.
I would like to look around at the pods, see if I see a snake of some sort.
You don't see any snakes in the pods. However, you do find a scrap of paper behind one of the pods. It looks like it might have gotten discarded and then ended up here, and when whatever cleaned up this place, 'cause it looks pretty much cleaned up. Like the last pod is broken on the end, but there's no water or glass anywhere. That's why you didn't really notice it at first, because this room is really clean. But you find one that's like burned and crumpled up, like tossed away, as if whoever cleaned this place missed it. And the paper says intermediary void research continuing. Our findings on the spaces in between known existences has proved very fruitful, and our understanding of what lies beyond our cosmic position is going well. I have faith that with the helpful guidance of, and then the rest of it's gone.
Hey guys,
What's going on?
look at this piece of paper. I hold it up.
What does it say? I can't read it from over here.
That's very far away, Reagan.
I'm pretty sure it doesn't have anything important on it. We could just keep going.
I mean, I guess, but then why would Ray bring it up?
Reagan, can you just read it to us?
I read it.
Oh, well, do we think that cutoff there is our
Little pal?
yeah,
Yeah.
our traveling friend?
It makes sense why they have so much knowledge of where we, stay. It's relaying it back to them. Why? Beats me.
Well, maybe the friend up here can have some answers.
Hopefully so.
All I know is this research they're doing caused all that outside. They got a lot of good people killed, bad people too. For what? I don't know. But I do know I'm still gonna shoot that fucker in the face. He just keeps walking forward.
Do you go through the doors at the end of the hall? As you open it up, you see what can only be described as some sort of cross between a workshop and an operating room. There are a lot of very bright runes that produce light all over the place, and a lot of the counter spaces are very, very clean. However, there's a lot of almost industrial-like equipment that might be used to manufacture things, different pieces, and as you look in a bin nearby, there are pieces of twisted and marred metal that look like they've just been ripped off of things, from short cylinders to longer ones to scraps of bent, twisted metal. And though that kind of a scrap bin wouldn't at all be out of place in a metal shop or anything like this, it immediately catches your attention as one of the first things you notice, because all of those scraps are silver and gold, and they are covered in strange rune-like pieces.
Oh shit. Hey guys.
Yeah?
What's going on?
I just point toward all the scraps, and our weapons feel like they are literally a part of us.
Mm-hmm.
They feel like they're literally a part of our souls in general. So seeing a bunch of what look like old ClockTower weapons that are destroyed is kind of jarring.
They hardly look like weapons at this point, if they ever were.
Yeah, but either they're trying to build them for themselves, or all the ones they find from the stranger.
The way the workshop looks, from the way the machines are in different positions and things like that, it looks like something has already been built here. Already built, and there is a metal bin nearby one of the workshop benches that there's a fair bit of a smoky smell coming from.
I'll walk over and look at it.
There's what looks like this thing was filled with papers and research notes that's just been lit on fire. Somebody bonfired all of the research notes that were in this place. You can imagine this bin is probably filled with an entire table's worth of notes and papers that just got ashed.
My character does not care about papers at all.
Those are useless.
Yep. Is there another door leading out?
There is. There's actually multiple doors. There's one to the left, one to the right, one going forward.
Do you think it was some kind of contingency thing? Like that they made what they were gonna make and then they ended everything so no one would know?
I feel like our stranger fellow is burning his tracks.
Maybe. But I feel like they found what they were looking for and they wanted to make sure no one else could.
The previous encounter said we're 2-3 days behind this guy? My guess is that he found what he needed to find and burned it all so we wouldn't find the rest. Or whoever was tailing him.
Right.
Well, let's keep going.
We got 3 doors.
Question is, which one do we take?
No matter what we do, we don't split up.
Straight is always a good option.
We could always open each door and see which one led to like a staircase. We're trying to go up, right?
Yeah.
So we'll each get on the side of a door and open it slightly without walking in and just looking inside.
Right.
Yeah. So,
Rock's gonna start going towards the door on the left and get to the side of it, about to open it.
Jaeger will post between all of them since he has the most range. If
Okay.
he has to shoot something.
You guys are opening the door on the left.
Like
But at an
You guys are
angle.
effectively breaching the door on the left.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. As you breach the door, you see inside there is a wide room filled with a lot of drawers of different equipment. If the last room looked like a workshop mixed with an operating room, this just looks like an operating room, complete with a table that has a body that looks like it's mid-autopsy on top of it.
Rock will actually start, slowly walking up towards the body, kind of their weapon almost drawn in their hands, but mainly just to investigate the body.
The body looks like it has been dead for some time, as it has been decomposing on this table for a decent amount of time, and any features that might make it a recognizable person have gone.
I'd like to think that as Rock looks at it, they blink once, and it's almost like, once again, like a slight flashback from their time on the path, with like dirt around the body and something going overhead, and they blink again and they're back in the operating room. It's very familiar territory for them.
Sam hasn't entered the room. They've turned away.
Is there
Oh, and the smell is bad.
Reagan plugs his nose. Is there a bag, like a zip bag, full of their belongings anywhere in this room?
Would you like to search the room?
Yes.
Make a Constitution save, and then a Perception check.
Oh no.
18 for the con save.
You thought the smell was bad from outside of the room, but inside it's so much worse. It is like you can taste it.
Yeah.
However, Reagan is no stranger to death, and has seen plenty of things like this on their travels in the path, and along the way. So you keep searching. What was your perception check?
14.
You don't find any of their equipment or any of their clothes. You do, however, find a journal that, as you flip through some of the pages, they seem like autopsy notes that are mainly, as they go on in very, very descriptive detail and length about each step of the process of the autopsy, noting how very similar to a human the anatomy is, and that they can't discern any difference between the person that they have been examining and a person. And about halfway through, and they're like medical records, right? Like they're very, very dry. They're written very point of fact, very scientifically. And when I say descriptive, they're descriptive in like making sure like the exact inches, the exact weight of specific everything. And then your heart skips a beat as you read one of the lines when it says the patient has died, like halfway through the log.
They were working on them while they were alive.
Yeah, remember that whole face shooting thing? Still stand.
What were they operating on, Reagan? Who were they operating on?
It doesn't say for sure, quote unquote, not human, but I think they may be one of us.
Rock looks at the autopsy table, looks back at the scraps of weapons, and goes, they're trying to understand us. They may be trying to learn how to take care of us. The weapon scraps show that.
They started this fight, at least for us.
I agree with you wholeheartedly, but if we have even the slightest chance to get one answer, we take it.
Fine, I'll let you talk and then I'll shoot him in the face.
That's perfectly fine.
Hear that, Sam?
Rock extends his hand to you.
Jaeger gives like a sigh and then shakes on it.
I nudge Sam.
What? Oh, yeah.
Hear that? Jaeger's learning.
About what? Sure.
I shuffle everybody who went in the room out and close the door.
Let's try the right room now. Rock gets into breach position.
Sam holds back, but still looks like they're gonna go in.
Are you guys going to the right door?
Yep. I open it from the side.
As you breach the right door, you see rows and rows of what look like rooms on the left and the right that have similar glass walls to the pods that you saw previously. But as you look on the right, you see there's like a small cot, and from what you know of this place and other worlds that you've been to from information from the clock tower, they look like prison cells, but you don't see anyone in them.
What if Rock hangs their head and goes, what if we weren't the first agents to come here?
We definitely weren't.
Every time an agent would come here, they would torture them, study them, and then take care of them.
It looks like they wouldn't have needed to take care of them with the way they were studying.
Do you guys go all the way into the cell? Or into the hall that has these cells in it?
How far out does it go?
Maybe 40 feet.
No, Rock doesn't. Rock learned from the last time, don't walk into some without looking at it, because otherwise it'll lock behind you.
Let's check the last door and then we can get a better look in here. If there's anyone still around, I want to get them out.
I think that's smart.
Megan nods.
Sam kind of distantly nods and is still looking at the autopsy door.
All right, let's look at the first door. I mean, the straight door, the door in front of us.
As you go to the door, you breach the door that goes straight. It's a smaller hallway that curves around like a big spiral staircase.
Well, that's our way up. Let's check those cells first.
Yeah, I'm good with that. Let's you go ahead. I just gotta do something real quick. I'm not getting in trouble. I'm not gonna leave. I just need to do something.
Rock is gonna stay with Sam. Without saying anything, Rock has a mental note of the amount of times they've said, I'm just gonna go do something, and it's never been positive. So I'm gonna stay with Sam.
Do Reagan and Jaeger go into the prison cells? Like into the hall?
Jaeger does, yeah.
I follow Jaeger.
As the two of you look down this hall, checking left and right, all the cells are empty, except for the last one. In the last cell, there is what looks like a person, or what was a person. They also look like they've decomposed quite a bit, and from what you can see, it looks like most probably... Roll perception check, actually. I'll just give you information. Why would I do that?
16.
13.
Jaeger, you're pretty sure they took their own way out by percussive force against the wall with their own head. And it looks like they have written something. Jaeger, you have no idea what it says. Reagan, you can see that the wall says, what did they do with our watches? Written in what is now a dark brown color on the wall.
So they definitely were agents like us.
Yeah, they were.
I run into the room that we started in and sift through the bin of metal scrap.
Roll a investigation check.
It's a 13.
Almost everything of use in this is just completely charred, like turns to just dust in your hands. However, there is one piece of paper at the very bottom that must have not gotten very much of the flame because it was rolled up pretty tightly. And as you pick it up and unroll it, looks like blueprints for some kind of lantern with a light at the very middle. From the blueprints, you don't really understand a lot of what it's talking about, and a lot of it's unreadable.
Mm-hmm.
But it looks like whatever this lantern is, it's not a normal lantern. The light inside, there's like a small note that just like says containment ? And says that they should try the material, anything, and that it needs a significant amount of reinforcement. But it's like it. Parker's giving me the evil eye and mad pointing.
We'll wait till the post show. What's Sam and Rock doing?
Sam, that is up to Sam.
Sam doesn't say anything when both Jaeger and Reagan go in, and they don't really say anything with Rock standing next to them. They just kind of somberly, with their hat down, walk into the autopsy room, all the way up to the corpse, and put their hand on it.
Rock would be in the doorway, not going into the room, knowing that this is somewhat important to Sam, but just keeping an eye out.
It has gotten past the point where it would be hard and has started to be goopy, so that's not pleasant.
Sam is so passed out in this moment. They silently say under the breath, "I'm so sorry. You deserve better than this." And they put their wand to the side of the person's head and disintegrate it.
All right.
And then they clench their hand, even with the goop in it, and walk out.
Rock, as you would walk, would just kind of make a pathway for you to slide past them as they nod their head, check the time on their pocket watch.
You still have a substantial amount of time left.
Rock would then go wait in the middle with Sam kind of peeking into the door with Reagan and Jaeger to make sure they're okay.
After Rock lets Sam pass, all four of you meet back up in the middle room, with the new hall and the spiral staircase leading up, the only destination you haven't checked yet.
I didn't know I could hate this much. This is new.
Remember what we shook on.
No, it's fine. I'm not going to shoot him immediately. I'm still just going to shoot him later.
In general, that's perfectly fine by me. Just give us a minute. Sam, I have a strong feeling whatever is next is not going to be fun. Is there anything you could do to make us feel less like total garbage?
Probably. Just give me a minute.
Take your time.
I'd like to sift through the other bin.
Roll.
I want to say that I am looking for pocket watches. As I do.
It looks like more, like the only thing you're able to find is a small scrap of paper that looks like the sketch of one half of a press, like a coin press, and you recognize one side of a clock tower coin on that press.
They were really trying to find whatever they could. I put my last coin to the press to show my party.
Well, it's like a sketch, but yeah, you hold them up, they're identical.
Yeah. They were using us as currency. They were using us as batteries. They were using us as whatever the hell they wanted. So, I just want to be done with this.
Something tells me we're not going to be done with this for a while. And Rock slowly, starts walking towards the staircase. Stopping, looking back at Sam going, anything you can do to make me feel less like hot garbage?
Yeah. Rock, go fucking kill these people. Healing word. 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 Word.
Hey, Ellie again. Thank you for listening. As always, I'd like to thank our producer, Who's, at Who's.music, and our Dead Air team, Cal, for making the episodes what they are. I would also like to thank our sponsor, Alpha Lupine Images, for donating the equipment to help us make more content with better quality. Thank you to Darbii, Cal, Parker, and Trent for their great performances. As always, thanks again for listening. This one was a tough one, but I'm glad you're still here. We release bi-weekly, so episode 30 will be out on Friday, August 6th. Until then, time's ticking. See you in the clock tower.